And now, broadcasting live from the Darkroom Studio at Craven Community College, it's In the Know.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to In the Know. I am Megan Johnson here at Craven Community College at our Public Radio East broadcasting studio. And over here on my left is not Craig.
Nope, it's not Craig.
It is not Craig. It's Christina Bowman. And on the other side of me is Charles Wethington. And so they are my special guests today, and we are here to talk about the foundation and the Community Fabric Awards that are coming up, and we're going to dive into that in a minute, but I'm going to throw it to the booth. Good morning, Zanetta.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hello, ladies. Thank you for keeping us going and getting us on the air and all that kind of good stuff, because I know it was a little tricky this morning, wasn't it? Little tricky. So that being said, so let's talk about our thing of the day, because maybe you just needed another cup of it. Oh, there, show it to him. Show it to him. Just got to flip that microphone. There it is.
Thing of the day.
Ooh.
Thing of the day. So National Gourmet Coffee Day is today, January 18th. Whether it's the rich flavor or the caffeine boost that can help a person wake up in the morning, coffee has become an important part of the start or the middle of the day for billions worldwide. Now, I am not a gourmet coffee person. How about you, Christina?
No.
No?
No.
But do you drink coffee?
I do.
Okay.
At least 3-4 cups a day.
All throughout the day?
No, just in the morning when I get up at 5.
3 or 4 cups in the morning?
Yeah.
Dang. So, like Craig, he drinks coffee all day. Like, he takes a break and he goes and gets I know there's like a 4 o'clock stop for him, right? So, Charles, what about you? Are you a coffee drinker?
I am not a coffee drinker at all.
No.
I am an anti-hot liquid person.
I did not know that it was a category. So, I'm glad to know that. An anti-hot liquid person.
Yes, I just I don't like coffee. I like the taste of hot chocolate. But I just don't like the hot liquids, the hot drinks.
See, hotter the better for me.
So, like, is espresso that's a gourmet coffee?
It is.
Like, what's an example of a gourmet
Okay, so
coffee?
here we go. With hundreds of varieties of beans and dozens of interesting ways of brewing, each bringing its own unique flavor, coffee has been developing over the years. From espresso machines from Italy to fine grounds in the Turkish Librik. I think I'm saying that correctly. I'm not quite sure, but I know Turkish coffee around here is kind of a cool thing. I know Matei Sweets downtown offers that near 5 Points. To the popularity of freeze-dried or instant crystals, coffee has evolved in many ways. So yes, there's different types of beans. I think the Arabica bean is supposed to be the more...
I drink espresso Arabica. Like, it's a
Arabica?
mixture. Yeah,
Okay.
Arabica is a mixture because I don't like just regular coffee, because if I'm drinking that many cups in the morning, I need to get going. So I
Okay.
do put lots of cream in it sometimes, though.
So light and sweet?
Sure.
Okay, I like it light and sweet too.
No, I don't. It depends what the creamer tastes like.
Oh, no, I don't put flavored creamer. I just do milk.
Sorry. No.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
No, I'm bougie like that.
Well, I need to add the caveat that
Okay.
I'm not anti-coffee, because there was a coffee shop in New Bern some years ago that had a gritty kitty, is what they called it, the gritty
Ooh.
kitty. It was basically...
I'm not sure. Okay.
Oh, this is good.
Okay.
It was a milkshake,
Okay.
Oh.
a vanilla milkshake
With coffee
that
flavored.
had ground chocolate-covered coffee beans in it.
Oh, I do
Okay.
love those. Those are good.
Yeah.
And a gritty kitty. You were just mainlining the whole bean. Just get it in there.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
the first time I had one, I said, no, I don't need to drive back. I'll just jog back.
Wow. So
'Cause you're
it
not
had a
used to
kick
it.
to it.
It certainly had the caffeine kick.
The gritty kitty had a kick.
I really like that name for some reason. Like, where was this at in New Bern?
It was the
Bella's? Down
no,
there by
no,
Cal-
no. This was years. The coffee place was. It was. I don't remember the name.
Sorry.
But it was right there by Mitchell's Hardware, right across the street.
Oh,
Yeah.
River Brew? Something like that.
I don't remember the name, but
I can see the gentleman's
Gritty
face
kitty?
right
yes.
now.
They used to do. They used to do some performances there. with the
Had a
Yeah.
really
Downey's
cool.
Folk Arts.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was an old brick building, and it's got
Yes.
all the
What
exposed brick.
Nautical Star? That's another place, right?
No, this was. I think it was called Trent River Coffee
Yeah,
Company.
I think, yep,
Trent
you're
Trent
right.
River Coffee
You're
Company.
right, you're
Yep.
right. The
So-
Gritty Kitty.
Gritty Kitty. So
Gritty
speaking of local coffees, Bellator Roasting Company is roasted right here in New Bern, and it's veteran owned. And I want to say he actually was an instructor for Craven Community College for a while before he went out and decided to do this full time. I bought their beans at Mitchell's Hardware. Speaking of Mitchell's, and they've got a New Bern flavor.
Oh.
And I bought it for Gary for Christmas. And he was kind of surprised. And I'm like, oh, maybe you should have opened this gift first. And I bought a coffee grounder, which we've never had before. I mean, I've known the man for 30 years and we've never ground our own coffee beans. So that's kind of turned into our new little favorite thing. But I am not bougie about coffee. I am not a coffee connoisseur whatsoever. In fact, I brought my very simple. Let's talk about, this is Throwback Thursday, right? So this is what your grandma used to have at 4:00 in the morning. The
Like Swiss
international coffee mix. Do you guys remember all these flavors?
Like Swiss Miss or Swiss Mocha. My mom had
There was a Swiss mocha. Yes.
Yeah.
There's the vanilla. This is the French vanilla sugar-free. And so I put a scoop of this in my coffee. But talk about throwbacks, right?
Yeah.
It's very much an old lady thing, but I like it.
I didn't know they still made it.
So I can only find this one, the sugar-free one, in one grocery store in town. Yeah.
So the best coffee I've ever had is actually from my dad's 1950 percolator.
Yes.
So I was, I don't know, 9 or 10. Yeah, I shouldn't have had coffee by then, but I had never seen a percolator, so I was like so interested in it. And I guess it just percolates and makes it, and that seems like a lot to get up and do every morning. So I'm not going to do that, but it's very
Well, that's
good
what
coffee.
we use it when we go camping. Is the percolator coffee
No.
pot? And what about the French press? My girls like the French press.
That's too much work. I'm not doing all
Yeah.
that.
I'm looking at Charles like he's going to have input,
Yeah,
but I
nothing.
forgot he doesn't do hot drinks.
I just
No.
no.
But what about
nothing.
like an iced coffee? No.
I no, and it's just, I guess, well, one, maybe I'm just too frugal because I can't imagine going through and paying like $8 for a something
Yeah.
to drink that.
Yeah,
I
I don't. I drink my coffee at home. I don't go to a drive-through.
Oh,
or,
I do, but it's only like, if my husband's watching, it's only once a month. Once a month, I go through and treat myself. Once a month. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. My girls will say, "Hey, Mom, you want something at Starbucks?" I'm like, "No." Oh,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said the brand. But
Right.
so, if you are a coffee connoisseur, or if you have a favorite brand and you want to share with us, or how you like to make it, whether it's with sweet and light and sweet, light and sweet. Yep, a Splenda, a scoop of this, a little milk. I mean, why am I even drinking coffee, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I have to stick it in the microwave for another minute because I put so much crud inside of it. You know, it's really not coffee anymore. But anyway, enough about coffee. Tag us in there. I know that Christina has also tagged the foundation and your Facebook page. So if you have, please, hopefully you've seen it and we can keep
Yeah.
moving forward. Okay, so let's talk about why I've got wonderful guests with me today. First of all, thank you guys for filling in while Craig was
Thanks for
gone.
having us.
Yeah, absolutely. And Zanetta wanted me to share with you guys. I had mentioned at the last time that we were having the Antique Roadshow. We are not having Antique Roadshow, as you can tell. And of course, Craig laughed and said he was going to bring me as his antique.
Wow.
So I know. I'm like, bless. So, but anyway, we will give you dates about that later. But right now, we're going to be talking about the 14th annual Community Fabric Awards and the outstanding opportunities for the events, for nominations. So I'm going to throw it to you first, Charles. So tell us a little bit about, number one, what does the foundation do and what is the Fabric Awards all about?
All right, let's talk a little bit about the foundation
Okay.
to start with. The foundation is here, and we've got a great foundation board that works tirelessly. And the main goal we have is to take care of college initiatives. And certainly one of the big ones there is making sure that our students can afford the tuition, the fees, and the required course materials, books, those types of things. And when you look at what the foundation has been able to accomplish is phenomenal with this great group of foundation board members that we have. Last year, the foundation assisted, and this was the last fiscal year, so through June of last year, end of June last year, the foundation assisted 2,300 students in some way. We touched those. Sometimes it was just a little bit of emergency assistance. Sometimes we have some scholarships that are full scholarships for everything that they need. So it runs the gamut in there. And when you work that number out, that's about 1 in 4 of the college students here receive some type of assistance from the foundation. And
that's a strong number, by the way.
Yes.
that is
a strong
amazing.
number.
And one of the things that when I talk to groups and I am out and I like to convey is just how financially fragile our students are. I mean, most people have a little bit of a cushion there, so if something unexpected comes along, they're able to get through that. A lot of our students here at Craven Community College, it's not like if you're packing up and you're young, you just got out of high school, you move off to college and you intend to stay there and that's your focus. The majority of the individuals here at Craven Community College are not only taking classes, but they're also working part-time. They're taking care of family members. It may be a mother or father. It may be a child that's taking care of I say child, but a younger person that's taking care of a grandparent.
Correct.
All of those things are in there. All these mixes are in there. And these people are, in some cases, just really so financially fragile. And I know that I can point to you on this because I'm sitting on my desk, and as soon as we get through here, we're going to sign off on the paperwork and we're going to take care of this. You put a request in for a student that needed some assistance.
I did yesterday. So I had a young man who came to me, and of course I go to all the classes and Havelock campus and introduce myself, and even if it's not one of my classes that I manage or in case that I'm the coordinator for, I still will often audit them to help the paperwork process here back in New Bern. So I become the face of, if you guys get into trouble or if you need anything, come and see me. If I'm not the right person, I'll make sure you get in front of the right person. And that's usually the conversation. And it usually is followed up by, if you are in a position where you have to buy groceries, but that means you can't buy gas to get to class, you need to come to me because I can help you get groceries, because the foundation is also one of those who helps provide for our Panther Pantry. And it has been it's been a blessing for so many. In fact, this young man that had come to me, he and his partner are both students with us. And that half day before we went out on Christmas, came to my office and they had no groceries to get them through Christmas. So I helped them with that. And then another unfortunate situation, and they're both working. So it's not like they're just sitting around waiting for somebody else to just give them something. They're working. And her car got broken into, and it had their gas money to get to and from school and work. And that's what my request to you was, to help them get some gas money to get to the next paycheck. And they didn't ask for a lot.
No.
I mean, it wasn't a huge amount, as you know, it's just enough to get back and forth. And I was listening on the radio on the way in, and they were talking about economic development. It was somebody out of Pitt County. And they said, if you draw a line across North Carolina from 95 to the beach, and that was our state, that we would be the poorest state in all of the United States. And I don't know, I'm just saying, just regurgitating what I heard on the way in. But then I've also heard from our Craven County Commissioner E.T. Mitchell recently that 31% of Craven County residents qualify for Medicaid. So if people that, and intentionally or unintentionally, are kind of sheltered in their own world and don't realize, like you said, the fragility of the economics for so many. So I would say that when you were talking about 1 in 4 that are getting grants and opportunities through the foundation, I see it.
Yes.
I see it on a regular basis.
Yeah, they didn't request enough even to fill their tank up.
No.
Which I thought was interesting, because it told me they did the math that they just needed to get to class. And I thought that was very awesome.
And they share a vehicle.
Right.
They share a vehicle.
And in this case, we're talking about less than $50 is going to keep these 2 students on their educational pathway.
Correct.
And without that, in most cases, and we've seen it, I've heard stories where students had to just quit,
Drop out,
because you got to pay the bills, you got to eat, and so sometimes work takes precedence, and it's not people just sitting around, as you said earlier, looking for a handout. These are people that are genuinely working hard to advance themselves and to make themselves better. And what we're talking about here is and it runs the gamut here at Craven Community College. We're talking about the nurses that are going to be your nurse when you go to Carolina East.
She's in the phlebotomy program, so
right.
yes.
The person that's drawing your blood if you go to the doctor's office, the
that
CNAs.
have to has 1,500 successful sticks. Successful, not tries. Successful.
And the story I love to tell, which is just very personal for me and very recent, is some years ago there was a young student struggling to pay the tuition and function and get through life, and she was in the ADN program, in the nursing program here, and worked at the foundation. And when she graduated and went on, it was a student that we had contact with, and we were able to help some with some assistance. And fast forward to about 9 weeks ago, my mother fell and broke her hip. And she was in having surgery, and so they said, somebody will call you when she comes out. Gave them a cell phone number. And the person called me and said, Mr. Wethington? I said, yes. Said, hi, I'm calling you from the PACU. Your mother came through surgery fine. She's here recovering. She's doing great. Are you still here on the campus? And I said, well, no, but I'm right down at the college. I said, I'm just, like 5 minutes away. I'll be right there. And she said, fine, that'll be fine. She goes, wait, Charles? And I said, yeah. She said, this is Marty. I'm bad with names, but I called her Marty, but Megan was her name. And
just don't call me Marty. Okay.
So, but anyway, this was the nurse that was caring for my mother in the PACU, and rolled her up to the room, and we got a chance to sit and talk. And she's just being, she's so successful. But that's just one of those stories. I could go on and on. A good chance the auto mechanic that's going to be working on your car,
Correct.
Quite possibly got trained here at Craven Community College. Welders, construction workers, HVAC. We could go on and on with the list of the individuals that come through Craven Community College. And they're local folks. They've got family here. They've been working here. And when they come out, they don't move off to, in large parts, to other parts of the world.
No.
They're right here in Craven County.
Because we're helping them find jobs. I mean, let's just go there, right? I mean, we're also networking and putting them in front of the correct industry so they can have a successful experience here, get their license, their certificates, their diploma, whatever the case may be, and get a job. And so we're helping to facilitate that as well. Another shout out for the foundation, that same student that I was telling you about, the welding student, the foundation provided a classroom library for books. So these students that, tuition's fairly expensive for welding because the supplies are so expensive. I mean, my steel's gone up 400% just since COVID. So, for $709 is a lot of money for the average person to be able to shell out at one time that doesn't get financial aid for it. So offering a classroom library so they don't have to have another several $100s out of pocket is it's a game changer.
And that's one of the things that the foundation's been working to do is we realized that we could go in and purchase these books, and they stay in the classroom. And so they get used over and over and over again. So we can buy one book, and with that one book, we can just touch so many students over not just that one class, but there are 2 or 3 classes going on. Then they use it for all the classes, and it just really.
Yeah, we have 2 classes going on right now, and they're all sharing the books. So,
yes.
Christina, let's bounce forward to the 14th Annual Fabric Awards and the nominations, because we can't have awards unless we nominate people.
No, we cannot.
So tell us about that.
So nominations open January 6th, and they close February 6th at 5 p.m.
So they're open now.
Open now.
They're open now. Yes, definitely they're open now. And if you have any questions, please call the foundation office at 252-638-7351, and I'll be more than happy to assist you if you have trouble.
So who is the average person looking at to nominate? What is the community looking for in a nominee?
Well, there's 3 separate categories. Okay. Individual leadership, educational leadership, business leadership. So, well, really, it's leadership and education. Sorry, I always say it backwards.
That's okay.
It was done 14 years ago. I wasn't here yet. But there's 3 separate categories, and you can nominate all 3. You can nominate Charles. You can nominate. Where's the picture that it shows you our past people?
Yeah, and one of the things.
There we go.
There we go. I was trying to give them an example of our community leaders.
One of the things that I would like to stress with the nominations that I think sometimes people get discouraged because I nominated somebody and they weren't selected. Well, I've over the last 7 years, I've sat in on all of the selection processes as this group, and one of the things that we do is in each of the categories, when we get all the nominations in after they're closed, we print the packets out, and we have we keep them anonymous because these people are all out in the community, but they're all community leaders, and we make sure that that group is representative of a past CFA winner, a minority, and a female, because we want to make sure that we're trying to get as unbiased a view and as broad a spectrum of individuals in our community. They sit down and go through. We've had as many as 15 applications come in before in a category, and looking at those individuals, any of the 15 would have been great.
Definitely.
But unfortunately, we can only have one recipient, and so the committee then has to go through. And I go through this to say that if you've nominated somebody in the past and they were not selected as a recipient that year, don't let that discourage you, because I can tell you, just from what I've seen, Christina will echo this as well, that we've seen people that have received this award that their name has been in like 2 or 3 times before.
That's correct.
And just not the first time that they were in were they selected. Again, it's just because there are so many deserving individuals. And the other thing that I would recommend for anybody that's doing nominations is to look at, and it's an online form. It's super easy. If you have any problems, just as Christina was saying, call. Christina will walk you through that. She's much more adept with the form online than I am, but I can answer any questions you have if she's not there. But go through that, and one of the key things that I strongly encourage anybody that I talk to about nominating someone is there's a selection where you can upload up to 5 sort of letters of nomination, or letters from community members or organizations that support that nomination.
Oh, okay.
And I strongly encourage you to think about those 5 individuals. It can be an organization. It can be an individual.
So it's a team effort.
So
Yes.
It can be a team effort.
It can be a team
get
effort.
those letters in, because those letters a lot of times really do have a huge impact on the selection process.
Help solidify.
That's just from what I've seen in the past on watching the selection committee.
Very good. So what's the best way for people to find it, Christina?
So if you go to the Craven website, it is located at cravencc.edu/CFA. Also, I want to mention the date of the actual 5 awards.
Please do, so we can, save the date.
It is April 23rd.
April 23rd.
Yes, April 23rd. It begins at noon.
Okay.
Sponsorships packets should start going out after January 28th.
All right. And is your Be a Ray of Light campaign still going on? People can still donate to the foundation, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
At any
People
time?
can always donate to the foundation.
Anytime. And all you have to do is just give us a call. We'll stop by and pick up a
Yes,
check.
we will.
We are very accommodating.
Yes,
And,
you are.
while we're talking about donations, from time to time, I do get calls from individuals that want to set up some type of a legacy gift. So if anybody would like to, or is considering setting up an endowment, certainly I'd love to sit down and talk with them about that. Many individuals are now taking their required minimum draws out of their IRAs. So if you've reached that milestone where that's something, and you're finding that money needs to find a home, maybe what you'd like to do with it is to set up an endowment, and we can do that on installments. So if you say, I'm going to do this over the next 5 years, then we can do that.
I would love to say that I was in that position to do that, but what I can say is that every little amount counts.
Yes.
And after I saw what the foundation was doing for the community, I do have an automatic withdrawal, as so many other staff and faculty do here at Craven. So once a month in our paycheck, it goes directly there. It doesn't hurt because you don't see it. You're not writing a separate check. It's just done. But it's not
Right.
it's not my IRA interest, unfortunately. I'm not there yet, Charles, but maybe someday. But I preach it all the time, and I'll look it right in the camera and tell you this. There is no better agency that I know or I've worked directly with that has been a better steward of funds for the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Period.
Thank you.
And
I say that because you guys know I don't lie.
and you're talking about no gift is too large or too small. I put the too large part in there. You said too small.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely correct, because remember we were talking earlier about 2 students that less than $50
That's correct.
is keeping them
In class.
And so it
Or-
doesn't take huge amounts to make a huge impact.
Or again, you can earmark it. Like I earmarked mine to go to Havelock students. You can earmark it to go to the food pantry, the Panther Pantry. You can earmark it to the next phlebotomy student or the next masonry student. You can make it go to where it needs to go, and I promise you that's where it will go.
Yes.
Because I trust these two.
Sometimes it's quite a task, and Christina is sort of charged with matching those up. But you're right. We have a number of scholarships that are, and we work very closely with financial aid. I don't want to say that
Yes.
they give us requests, and we identify where the money is, and we say we've got these pots of money for these students. But we've got a number of scholarships for the whole health programs area. We've got scholarships that are earmarked specifically for veterans. For it gets as specific as single moms. If there's something that tugs at your heart, maybe, and there's one. It's really interesting. We've got an endowment that was set up, and the person set this endowment up in memory of her sister. And one of the things is we're going through the endowment is what their GPA, what their grade level is, and I said, would you want to do this for 3.5, like a B, A student? And she looked at me, she said, no. She said, my sister was a very smart person, but she wasn't good at taking tests. And so I want this for somebody that's at least passing, so a 2.0. And said, I want to help those students because that just is.
It's a category that gets lost.
Yeah, and said that's where my sister was, and said, so we'll work with you any way you want to.
That's awesome. So anything else about Fabric Awards, nominations, anything you want to share that's other upcoming events, anything that flyers, mailers, anything that is going out that we need to look for?
So I do. I have one thing. If you know a Craven student or a student that will be here next fall, we have our general scholarship application that's open right now.
Okay.
And it's open until April. And you can go on our website. There's a QR code on the foundation page, and it goes right to the application.
And I'd like to add in there as well that part of institutional advancement with the foundation is a lifetime learning center. Jennifer Baer, if you're interested in taking a trip to DPAC, the Durham Performing Arts Center, it's a great package. You can go see a Broadway show or a musical or
She has
ballet.
Rhonda Vincent.
We've got Rhonda Vincent and the Rage coming up here.
Yeah, River C. Fields, right?
That's at River C. Fields.
At the auditorium. It's a beautiful auditorium.
But the one thing with the trips that we have is you drive to the college, you park your car. We've got a chartered bus. You get on the bus. They take
she provides snacks too, by the way.
You go. You get a really nice meal. We're not talking about going through the McDonald's drive-through. It's a really nice sit-down meal that's in the package. The bus pulls you right up in front of the DPAC, so you don't have to fight traffic and park and walk 2 miles to get there. Bus pulls you up, you get out, you go into the show. When you get out of the show, the bus is sitting right there to pick you up and bring you back, and they drop you off right here, so you don't have to worry about the hustle and bustle of driving and all that. It's a great package.
And you get to meet new people.
Yep, it's a lot of fun.
It is.
And also she has both in the continental United States trips and international trips as well that she does.
So, Zanetta, if we can drop the Lifetime Learning Center link in the comments later, that'd be great, that people can connect to that really quickly. And I think we probably already have the Fabric one coming up as well. So we'll make sure that people can find it very, very easily.
One thing before we get off topic of the community,
You've
fabric
said that
boards.
several times, by the way, Charles.
Yeah, I know. I keep
Yes.
having all these things pop in my mind.
I know. We can
And
have
that
a
is-
3-hour
that is-
podcast, you and I, by the way.
Yeah, that is the actual
Definitely.
event on Tuesday, April 23rd.
Okay.
If you have not attended the Community Fabric Awards, it is a very powerful hour and a half. We get you in, we get you out. It's not one of those things where we say it's going to be that and we run on until 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We work a very tight timeline. It's all scripted out down to the second to make sure that we get everybody back to work in a timely fashion. But when you see the impact, one, it's a room full of between 450 and 500 of
Locals.
It's like a who's who of New Bern in there from all walks of life.
But everybody's welcome.
Everybody is welcome. I mean, it doesn't matter. You'll see so many people in there, and the stories that you hear from those students that have been impacted by the foundation will really. It's just so enlightening.
It is.
Okay, I'm gonna sit on my hands now.
No,
I can keep going. But
I'm going to say one more thing too. I love the fact that you wore your Garcia tie today. That's on brand for the Fabric Award
Yes.
celebration logo. So that did not go on blind eyes. I
okay,
noticed
yeah.
that immediately. I just wanted to wait till the very end. Yes, his Garcia tie. So if we are done talking about this, we've got some community events to talk about. What do you
Oh.
think? It's not up there yet. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Zanetta.
It's time for community events.
There you go.
How's that?
That was perfect. All right, I'm going to start. Blood Drive at Craven Community College, January 18th at 9 a.m. in the Nauman Community Room. That is going to be, that is today. Yep. Craven CC is hosting a community blood drive at the New Bern campus. One donation can save up to 6 lives. This blood drive is open to all. An appointment is not necessary, but it is encouraged. Visit redcrossblood.org and search Craven CC to schedule an appointment. The first time I ever gave blood was at a Craven Community College event in Havelock. And I found out I was O positive.
Oh,
Yeah. So very cool.
That's cool.
And it was uneventful and it was very neat. And I got to take a picture with my girl that got phlebotomy training. We want them to have good
Right.
training. So you want to take the next one?
Sure. Frederick Douglass, Master of Literary Art. Excuse me. That is also today. It's tonight, actually, at the North Carolina History Center. Tryon Palace is hosting a first-person interpretation that dives into the writings of Frederick Douglass. This performance is free to attend. Donations are appreciated. Yes, we also have Black History Month coming up.
Mm-hmm. And I did see this in the past. I don't know if it's the same actor. It is a wonderful one-man play, so to speak. Very, very cool. And the little auditorium that they have it in there, it's if you've not been in the Coleman Performance Hall, it's quite lovely. Very small and intimate. I encourage you guys to go to that.
All right, well, let's keep it there at the North Carolina History Center coming up on the 20th. I believe that would be Saturday if my dates are correct. Layers of Creativity, quilt exhibit by the Twin Rivers Quilters Guild. The Twin Rivers Quilting Guild is opening an exhibit in the Duffy Gallery at the North Carolina History Center. This exhibit will be on display January 20th through March 17th and is free to the public. It features over 50 masterpieces by 5 textile artists. And I tell you what, the Twin Rivers Quilters Guild, they used to have I think they still do have an annual show. And I always bought tickets because I always wanted to win a quilt, but I never was successful.
This is a beautiful display as well. And I don't care what your age is, but if you've got little ones, bring them because it's fascinating for their little eyes to see this art kind of just come to life. And it's a really good backdrop for pictures.
One of the things that
And it's free.
One of the things I really want, I've been thinking about that I want to get done is I've got some T-shirts from
Yes.
the Wayback Machine and some jackets that I saved a few high school jackets that are in the back, but just kind of do a quilt with kind of like I guess they call them a memory quilt or something like that.
I have one. I have a Bendy's Dash T-shirt quilt.
Do you?
I do.
For the girls?
For the girls,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's very cool. I saw one where they revealed the children had got the dad a quilt, and a memory quilt, and it was his wife who had passed. It was her clothing that they had cut up, and it was, I don't know if it was a TikTok or a YouTube, but I was like, boo, and it was so beautiful. All right, next, let's walk with a doc, January 20th, 9 a.m. This is a change. It's not going to be at Creekside due to the extreme weather, but start the new year right with tips to incorporate exercise into your daily life. There's a free brief medical presentation, then a group walk with Dr. Milkowski, that's Dr. Deborah Milkowski, available for all questions. So she will be meeting at the mall, the New Bern Mall, and I would guess probably up in the front, probably in the main entrance, and then everybody kind of gather there, and then they'll walk the mall. So.
Oh. Is it not called Twin Rivers Mall anymore? Did I miss that somewhere?
What did I call it? New Bern Mall?
Yeah, like it says New Bern Mall up there. I just didn't know. This just in. Is it?
I don't know. You're a New Bern lifer, so.
I'm not sure. It's Twin Rivers Mall. Just let
it's Twin Rivers Mall in New Bern.
Yes.
For anybody that's lived here for 50 years.
50? No, not 50 years, sir. Not 50
Not
years.
yet.
No.
No.
Yet.
We got a long time. All right. Who's doing Stony Road? Stony the Road.
Go ahead.
Okay. Stony the Road We Trod. It's going to take place at Oringer Auditorium. That is on Sunday, the 21st at 2 p.m. Join the New Bern Historical Society to learn about the history of James City that started as a safe haven for the black community, then turned to a fight for ownership for their land. This presentation is $10, and reservations can be made at newbernhistorical.org. That's newbernhistorical.org, and that would be a fascinating. The James City story is such a fascinating story, and New Bern is so rich in history.
Yes.
The Lifetime Learning Center had a presentation yesterday, and this was on the New Bern as a boating area, and went all the way back from the 1700s to today. And it was absolutely fascinating. There was a ship that was made in New Bern that I did not realize, and I don't remember the dimensions on it, but it was a huge ship that was made at the Barber Boat Works.
Interesting.
And I believe it was Barber. I learned there were two boat works that were in the area. So but there was so much information that I was kind of in mental overload by that point. But Tom McGraw was the presenter, and he had a picture of this.
And here we still continue that legacy with Hatteras.
Hatteras is
now Mako.
Now Mako, yes.
Now Mako, yep.
He talked about that as well. So we went all the way back from the Indian dugout canoes and through all the ages.
That's awesome. All right, Miss Christina, your turn.
Next, we have the color purple. It is on January 26th through February 11th at the Masonic Theater. Join the Rivertown Players for opening night of The Color Purple, an inspiring family saga of women who triumph over adversity. Tickets information can be found at rivertownplayers.org. Just fun fact, that was one of the first chapter books I finished, and I was like, when I gave it back to the library, Miss King, she said,
Miss Sarah King, by the way.
I did not realize that you checked this book out, and I said, and I checked it out again. I've read The Color Purple like 6 times. It's one of my favorite books, yes.
So if you missed last week's episode, go back and watch it. We had Denandre Bell, who is the director for Color Purple, and he did share that even last week tickets are going very quickly. So if you are wanting to go, I would encourage you to log on to rivertownplayers.org sooner than later. He was also on Beach Boogie and Blues the other morning, so he's getting a lot of airtime. So we're very excited. It's a wonderful story, as you said, and it's inspiring. And he's got a cast of amazing talent, as Denandre Bell is also. So
we have so much history and talent in New Bern.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
All right. So that wraps it up for our community events. But let me tell you a little bit about next Thursday morning in the Know episode 79. We will have the New Bern Historical Preservation Foundation and their Antique Roadshow conversation. Awesome. So I don't know what I'm going to bring, Charles, but I'm going to bring something. I want them to look at it. I know it's not going to be the roadshow yet, but I'm going to have something because, I found another treasure. They picked on me last week.
Why?
Craig called them my dust collectors, and I'm like, no, I found another treasure.
Right? Yeah, they're treasures.
I love my little treasures.
Do you put them in the china cabinet?
No, this one's out in the hallway by the front door. It's a little yadro, a little Spanish figurine. It's just beautiful. And are you ready for
nice.
this? Be jealous. I got it for 25 cents
Ooh.
at a thrift store. They clearly didn't know what they had. But she went home with me, and I'm going to love her, and she's on display.
That's
So,
awesome.
yes. That's the kind of treasure hunts I like.
I like antique jewelry.
I do too.
I like going to look at antique jewelry. I like a cameo. I love you do too.
I got
we,
it. Well,
yeah.
this was my great aunt's.
We both love cameos. Yeah.
Yep.
I think I may qualify as an antique now.
Oh,
Not yet.
can you get Charles appraised?
He's priceless.
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 Priceless, sir.
So again, thank you both
Thank
for
you for
being here
having
today.
us.
And you know what? I neglected to share your title, so I will do it now. But Charles Wetherington, you're Executive Director for Institutional Advancement.
That's a fancy title.
It is a very fancy title. And Christina Bowman, you are Foundation Assistant Director. I want to thank both of you personally for
Thank
all that you do
you.
for Craven Community College, for our local community, and for our leaders in this area.
Yes,
So,
nominate today.
Nominate today. Go online.
And if I can put in one final word,
One
Yep.
it is
One more thing.
It's going to
the
cost
bo-
you.
the bottom line of the foundation is supporting those students.
Yes.
Remember that when you
Yes.
give that money to the foundation, the money doesn't pay for my salary or to Christina's salary. When you give that money to the foundation for student assistance,
Yes.
that's exactly where it goes 100%.
And I can attest, it's quick, it's fast, and the relief is there for the students. So I, again, thank you for all that you do. Zanetta, thank you so much for doing what you're
Thank
doing
you,
today.
Zanetta.
Thank you, Zanetta.
We miss Craig. He will be back next week, God willing. And in the meantime, we will see you next Thursday, which is, I don't know what the date is. We'll just see.
It's the
25th?
79th episode. 'Cause
27th?
I'm not going to say anything.
I don't
I'm
know.
not
25th?
sure.
25th? I don't know, 25th maybe. We're going to see you then.
Check your calendar.
9 o'clock. Don't forget, share this, tag us. What else did we do?
Nominate.
Nominate.
Yes, please.
Yes, so please, we want to keep providing good information for you. In the meantime, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.